Tzu Chi held its regular free dental clinic in Australia to serve those who cannot afford dental care. We look at the ways how Korea implements internationally competitive learning environments. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. In Australia, Tzu Chi held a free dental clinic at a local community college in Sydney to help the people who cannot afford dental expenses. The Tzu Chi Dental Clinic is set up in the basketball courts arena within the community college. The clinic rooms are separated by curtains.
Wonderful experience.
Can you explain?
Very gentle.
I heard about the organisation and the effort through the Australian Dental Association, and I just thought it's fantastic. I have an interest in community dentistry and in particular helping those who can't afford dental care, so I wanted to come down and make a real difference where I can.
To tell them what they can improve with their health and just to help them to see that there's someone who cares and someone wants to make a difference in their lives. And yeah, I think that's why I like dentistry, because you can do some of these things where you can help someone immediately.
I've been helping out with registration as well, so just ensuring the event runs as smoothly as possible so we can get as efficiently as possible the dental care that these people need. Absolutely be coming back next year. I'm really amazed at how and it's really special, I think, how compassionate a lot of people are, and they truly really want to help people, which I think is...
1/5 of the people in Australia delayed to receive dental care because of the burden of dental expenses. Many of the immigrants in Sydney, the most popular city in the country, cannot afford to pay insurance nor ever visit a dentist.
Grateful and I'm very thankful. I want to thank it very much. Yep. I think you're doing a wonderful job for people. I thought it was maybe every little bit can help other people, and I thought, yeah, I could do my little bit, sort of.
Feeling thankful for what the volunteers did last year, Cass Richardson, who came again to seek medical attention at events, took the initiative to give back. She wants to encourage the Tzu Chi Australia chapter to continue to help the underprivileged people in all the dark corners of society. In San Mateo, Philippines, besides poverty, tuberculosis is another problem faced by many residents. Fortunately, the World Health Organization has implemented a strategy of directly observed treatments short course for TB control in the country.
For people living a harsh life, seeking medical attention can be a heavy burden. For instance, Maylin's son, who is diagnosed with tuberculosis or TB, chooses to face death instead of getting treatment.
He insists on not taking any medications. He chooses to die with dignity.
TB who are drug resistant and with HIV already, they died.
In fact, many TB patients choose to get treatment at private clinics. It is because they are afraid once people find out about their illness, they won't be able to find good jobs later.
That's the cycle of poverty, malnutrition, poor housing condition, behavioral problems, underemployment. It's a cycle, multi-factors affecting the sickness of a child. That's why it's a big challenge for us.
Annalisa!
In this family of 6, 5 people have TB, but they still all live together and play with children their age. This results in a widespread of mycobacterium, which causes TB. The low houses with poor ventilation have become the perfect breeding grounds for the widespread of TB.
We realize that many patients' houses have very poor ventilation. For example, we feel a bit stuffy now.
However, these are not individual cases. In San Mateo alone, at least 300 children are diagnosed with TB every year.
Basically, TB is highly infectious. Therefore, in an environment with poor ventilation, it can easily spread at a very fast rate.
Most people cannot afford the medications, or they're afraid there's not a stable supply, so they feel really helpless.
Since they cannot afford the medications, so they have to wait for Tzu Chi to come with the supplies.
In 2015, the local health center sought out help from the Tzu Chi Foundation. After a thorough assessment, Tzu Chi decided to subsidize the TB medications for 5 different boroughs in San Mateo.
But still, it's a challenge for us to provide the 6 months treatment. It costs around 10,000 pesos.
Besides buying the necessary medications, he has also accepted our suggestion of hiring 4 DOTS observers and caring for the caseload.
The DOTS observers shoulder the responsibilities of going into the patients' homes to ensure the patients are taking the right medications and make detailed records.
We ensure that patients are taking the medications in front of the DOTS observers. Every day we make a record. After delivering the necessary medications, we ask the guardians or parents to sign on the record, confirming that the medical delivery was completed.
3 boys with their eyes widened watched the adults who has worried looks on their faces. Before the DOTS observers came, they were tortured by coughs, congested lungs, and fevers. Fortunately, in May, DOTS observers started to bring them sweet-tasting medications.
The medicine.
Oh, something was strawberry last time.
You
like it?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Tasty?
Yeah.
The type of medications for children younger than 14 years old is different from that of adults. For the first stage, Tzu Chi subsidizes 6 months' worth of medications for a total of 108 children. The recovery rate has been 100%.
In addition, she will ask if the other family members have symptoms of TB. Our DOTS observers helped us adopt 5 boroughs. Because of their hard work, our implementation rate is very good.
However, to cure TB, the patients must continue with the proper treatments every day for 6 months straight. How do these DOTS observers persevere in ensuring the patients take the medications on time? We'll find out more in our next episode.
In Taiwan, Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital has been safeguarding the health of those in rural communities for 18 years now. The medical staff conducts regular medical home visits to better understand the residents' situations.
Preparing daily use items along with medical equipment, staff from the Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital are about to undertake home visits. Grandpa Huang is a 96-year-old elderly man living alone. When he sees the arrival of medical staff, he treats them like old friends. He is happy to talk about the past with the doctors. Nursing staff also help measure his blood pressure and look after his health.
你知道我们是哪一个？我们是哪里吗？
没有，就在医院呢。
慈济医院。
就在医院，对不对？
对，答对了。哦，会常常来找你。
哦，是。好，非常欢迎的。
哦，好。
生活还好吧？可以的。会不会不方便？
Grandpa Liang has a visual impairment and lives in a dirty environment. He relies on subsidies to live and is alone in this house. The medical team personally checks his physical condition, also brings him daily use items as they look after his long-term care.
The environment for the elderly over here is relatively bad, as volunteers and our hospital staff have to track these cases.
The elderly population in Taidong County is higher than the national average. Medical staff personally venture out to better understand their living environment. Many are hoping to establish a more comprehensive long-term plan to provide more accurate and appropriate assistance.
Staying in Taiwan, on August 23rd, many areas in Jiayi were severely flooded due to a tropical depression. Besides providing hot food and helping the flood-affected residents clean their homes, the volunteers recently held a blessing ceremony.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ những video hấp dẫn.
With flooding continuing, Tzu Chi volunteers shared compassion and love. DaAi volunteers once again went to all affected townships and even held a blessing ceremony.
Every time there's a disaster in Hojun village, I see Tzu Chi volunteers come to our aid. When I see Tzu Chi volunteers, I feel I have seen my elders, and I cannot hold back my tears. It's only Tzu Chi volunteers who come here to lend a helping hand to our village.
After the water receded, hundreds of Tzu Chi volunteers came to hold a prayer ceremony for us. When the September 21st earthquake took place, Tzu Chi volunteers were the first ones to visit us. Tzu Chi volunteers are very enthusiastic and warm-hearted. This is great.
Volunteers and local residents use this blessing ceremony to renew their faith. The village chief also puts forward a special wish.
In the future, I hope that my village will no longer flood. I hope our villagers can follow the lead of Dharma Master Zhen Yan as well as Tzu Chi to go forward and change our situation. Let's help other people in need.
This inspirational prayer ceremony also took place in Budai's Guisi. The borough chief speaks out on the behalf of local residents and thanks Tzu Chi for never abandoning residents of the area.
The August 23rd floods occurred more than a month ago now, and we are still trying to emerge from the shadows of this disaster. This time, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have come back and held a prayer ceremony for us, which is really terrific. I think that this has been a great blessing for all of us and a spiritual help. I hope it can be very helpful to help us separate from this flooding disaster.
I am very grateful to Tzu Chi volunteers. In the aftermath of the August 23rd flood, they send love to us and help us gain peace of mind through home visits. I am very grateful for this.
To judge whether a school is good or bad, many people may first look at ranking surveys conducted by various institutions. When we take a look at South Korea, the top-ranked school is Seoul University, which is ranked number 36. Many believe we should follow the model of South Korea to improve the domestic education system. Let's take a look at the reports.
In Taiwan, if you get to class early, you may choose to sit in the back. But in South Korea, it is different. If you get to class early, you may sit in the front, and those who arrive late sit in the back.
During summer vacation, the library may be quiet with the only sound of pages turning. But when monthly exams come, the library and nearby cafes are open 24 hours. This impressed this exchange student from Taiwan who could feel the passion of local students for their classes.
The teachers has a very strange standard for seating students. They use the ABCD grading system. The first two rows are A students, and it goes just like that.
Students are very serious about studying as they must also consider the high cost of their education and how to afford high tuition fees. According to a foreign website, the top 3 tuition fees per year in South Korea are Myonggi University, Illuji University, and Yonsei University. Each of them costs more than $8,000. Even general public schools have a tuition averaging $6,000.
Tuition is really expensive, so I even consider working, but I thought it would be more efficient to just concentrate on my studies and getting a scholarship from the school. I made up my mind to study hard, so I received scholarships. I have also done some part-time work.
그리고 중간중간에는 아르바이트 같은 거 해서 충당하기도 했었습니다.
In a highly competitive environment, even those with student loans, some even opt to go to cram schools to strengthen their academic ability. The street in front of Noryangjin Station is famous for cram schools for those seeking government jobs or entering university. The South Korean government reports that it costs $260,000 to educate a child all the way to university. Some 30% is spent on education and 50% are given to cram schools.
有点潜规则，就是你有没有
When you go for a company interview, they will ask if you have participated in any activities. Even for this, many people will go to a cram school.
就是另外有点像补习的感觉。이력서는
I will definitely talk more about my extracurricular activities in my resume to prove how qualified I am.
Many young people are investing in themselves with the hopes of finding future work. According to a South Korea employment agency, the number of employed people in 2017 was 26.55 million, an increase over the same period in the past. But the number of unemployed people was nearly 1.03 million. The youth unemployment rate has reached a new high of 9.9%.
Of my 10 friends, about 7 of them are still looking for a job.
Challenges and failure is part of everyone's life experience. Trying to do something new that others have not done or try to do something different is a trait that I personally value. These types of traits can be seen in interviews and on a person's resume.
From studying to paying the high cost of tuition and then the job hunt, young people are facing many challenges. While there may be setbacks and multiple challenges, a lot can be done behind the scenes to prepare young people for these challenges they may soon encounter.
In Malaysia, more than 500 students from 10 schools in Kedah will be putting on a musical adaptation of Mother in Heaven in early November. Before the actual performance, the school representatives and Tzu Chi volunteers held a press conference to encourage people to watch this performance.
Holding on to his mother's picture, the little boy's cry and desire for motherly love has deeply touched the audience.
We want to tell the audience the importance of being filial to our parents and grandparents.
This is a very good event as it helps the students understand the importance of being filial to their parents.
Since 2013, Kedah Tzu Chi volunteers have been inspiring the students with different performances at the end of each school year. By the beginning of November, 10 schools will participate in the musical adaptation of Mother in Heaven.
I've been following Tzu Chi for the past 3 years, and I feel that Tzu Chi is making breakthroughs and progress every year. It's hard to come by.
Our school took the initiative to participate in this musical adaptation. First of all, we want the students to understand the process of life and death so they can accept it. Secondly, we want the students to have stage experience.
This performance is not a competition. It simply allows the students to enjoy being on stage and become more confident. As long as they are willing to perform publicly, the volunteers and school teachers will help them fulfill their wishes.
The volunteers hope that through the musical adaptation, seeds of love and compassion can be planted in the students' young minds.
Also in Malaysia, the sutra adaptation of Water Repentance has concluded successfully in Johor Bahru. Behind the scenes were nearly 1,000 volunteers who spent more than a year practicing together. Let's take a look at their hard work. The musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra is performed on the stage. Over the past year, nearly 1,000 volunteers have worked hard to rehearse the performance. Zekian, who teaches other volunteers for this performance, says the most important thing in the performance is to take the Dharma to heart.
Every scene has a different meaning, so we have to let on-stage volunteers understand the meaning of the scene they're going to perform. We're not giving a performance nor putting on a play. We're actually passing on Dharma. This is very important.
63-year-old Lim An-sen is the instructor of the Jinsi drum team. He makes the most of his time to practice. He said he has learned a lot through interacting with other volunteers.
We saw some movements of the students were incorrect. We then did the same movements at home, looking in the mirror to see whether our movements were correct. That's how I gradually learned the drum performance.
Hee Tiang and Lo Han Lian are both responsible for instructing the sign language performance. There are many challenges for them to overcome.
We need to take into consideration the entire venue, so we have to make some adjustments. When we do this, we do not merely change the way the sign language team performs, but we also influence the arrangements of the drum team, drama, and singing. They've also spent several months practicing, so when we make any adjustments, it will be a concern.
The most difficult part is to communicate with people. Since there are many onstage volunteers, sometimes I have to listen to and understand their thoughts to make sure their methods are no problem.
Behind the incredible and impressive Dharma performance is the joint efforts of many volunteers. Although the event has concluded successfully, the grand event, which consists of soul and spirit purification, is about to begin. In China, the new school semester has started. To help the impoverished students, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers not only deliver scholarship to them, but also provide love and care.
With a darkened wall and a bed that takes up pretty much the whole room, this is the living space of Tzu Chi scholarship recipient Zhen Tian and her parents.
Whenever you come, I'd feel really happy if you can stay a bit longer.
While receiving help, Ms. Zhen also wants to help those who are less fortunate. Ms. Zhen also seizes the opportunity to help other people in need. The new semester has started. Therefore, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers divided into 40 teams to deliver scholarships to 135 impoverished students. The family of 6, including the twin sisters, Yang Haixia and Yang Qiuxia, live a difficult life. Fortunately, the 2 sisters are always optimistic.
I will use the scholarship to do something meaningful. I should study hard now, and after I grow up, I can help other less fortunate people as well.
While distributing scholarships, the volunteers have also delivered their best wishes for every family, giving them hope to move forward.
In the aftermath of the Indonesia earthquake and tsunami disaster, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has immediately formed a disaster assessment team to care for the affected residents. They have prepared aid supplies and are planning to go along with the military to enter the disaster area of Baru as soon as possible. Let's all sincerely pray together for those who are suffering from the disaster. Thank you and see you next time.